Hello. Thanks very much, Morris. I suppose, as Morris said, I would have been kind of up around the back there, maybe around 6 or 7 years ago. I would have been doing my fourth year of college in business, and eventually ended up going back teaching. So I'm a secondary school teacher inside the city. So I suppose I kind of deal with kids with you every single day. I have first to 6 years. So like I went back. I love my job. I think it's a great job. I've no fear going in Monday morning, or no anxiety or anything like that going in Monday morning for work. So I think it's a fantastic job, and very privileged to be dealing with a lot of young boys in school every day. So I suppose what I'm here to talk about is, I suppose as Mara said, I'm lucky enough to play with Cork for seniors for the last 10 years. I've been kind of playing with Cork minor 21 for the last 14 years, I'd say, 15 years. So sport has been fairly heavily involved in my life, and I suppose, as you can see on the news, like there's only one team can win at the end of every year, so there's a lot of ups and downs. It's a very long season. The season can be 10 months. My season from 2013 or 2014 to 2015 was 13 months long. So it's a long time, and there's plenty of ups and downs, and probably more so downs in it. So what I'm here to talk about is, I suppose, being a teacher, a couple of things, maybe exam stress, anxiety and self-esteem. And for me, definitely dealing with young people every day, they're all tied into each other. They're very much linked. So like, what's anxiety? Like, so you hear anxiety, but you mightn't even know what it means. Generally, lads, it's an unpleasant feeling. It's a feeling of worry, kind of a feeling of inner turmoil, just an unpleasant feeling, a feeling of dread of something that's coming up. And I can guarantee you, whether you're Morris, myself, or you, every single one of you has felt anxiety about something, and will definitely feel it going forward. So as I said, I'm a secondary school teacher. In our school, we're very lucky. We're a mixed school. Like, there's people come from everywhere. There's people come from the north side of the city, the south side of the city, the suburbs, the country. I get to deal with like different backgrounds, different nationalities, different races, people with disabilities. Like, we're lucky that we're a very mixed school. So I get to see all kinds of people, meet all kinds of people every day. And each of them then, lads, have their own different goals. So like, you're not teens, like you're young adults. So I think you're fourth years, you could be fifth, sixth. So you could be doing big exams there in 2-3 years time. So they'd say, what are you worrying about? Like, they have nothing to worry about. Hang around the park, might be going to discos, might be playing ball or whatever, living at home, playing a bit of computer. Like, I can see it every day, lads. Young adults, you're going to have it's going to be a turbulent enough time for you in a couple of years, right? Because you've big exams coming for you. Some of you, like, exams might mean anything to you. It's just a matter of getting out of the way. Some of you, it might be a matter of getting into a course. So there's a lot of pressure trying to get that course. For some of you, it might mean moving away. So you have to organise accommodation, leave your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your family, your parents. You might never see some of your schoolmates again. So it's a big time for you coming up. For other people then, it might be just a matter of getting out of school and just getting a job. Do you have anything lined up? No. You might have to learn how to drive to get a job. Again, there's stressful situations come down the line for you. So like, you're secondary school, you can say you're young adults, but down the line, lads, there's fairly stressful things coming for you. So again, like, in terms of anxiety, how does it manifest itself, or how does it show itself? Like, some of this might resonate with you. Like, I see it in school, myself, see it with teammates. Physically, you could get tense, your sweaty palms, just can't relax. Your behaviour, can't make decisions, pacing back and forth, won't answer questions, kind of might go introvert, very quiet for a couple of days. That's like the way you act, the way you think irrationally. You might do something that you never did before. It might be kind of things physically, like biting your fingernails, okay? So like, all of them are reactions as to anxiety. I guarantee every single one of you, I definitely have ticked a load of those boxes. So that's reaction to stress, okay, and anxiety, and it's nothing to be fearful of, okay? I suppose a lot of my students and a lot of my teammates, including myself, would have gone to different areas and different people for different maybe mental health issues. It might be just career guidance, it might be lifestyle changes, it might be sports psychology, it might be for depression. And I know a lot of people who do it. In school we have great guidance counsellors. I suppose, like, we'd hope to be very open that any student can come into us. I suppose what you can do then, lads, coming up to exams, I suppose, as I said, I've very high achievers in some of my classes and some guys who just want to get through school and have no interest, and that's fine. They don't misbehave, that's fine. But I see it every year. We have summer, Easter and Christmas tests. Some of the brightest fellas, they know exactly what they want to do when they come into first year, what they want to do in college, what to do for the rest of their lives, and they'll fail an exam. Like Jesus, I'm saying, they're the best prepared, smartest young fellas. It just overwhelms them, it just overtakes them. They're just got too wound up, too stressed and too anxious about the exam, and they failed it, okay? It's not the end of the world. So, free bit of advice, just preparing for exams or preparing for anything, that can be quite stressful. That might be preparing for a game, it might be preparing for a show or whatever you're into, or an exam. Just look after yourself physically. So get the right sleep, maybe go 8 to 10 hours, maybe leave off the computer or lay off staying out late. Get your diet right, give yourself every chance. If you're nervous about something, give yourself every chance. So if it's get yourself physically right, okay? So your diet, your sleep, okay? And then be prepared. Do a bit of study. If you can't do a lot of study, do a bit of study. But make sure we have a checklist in school. Make sure you have the right pencils, the right pens, the calculator, everything. Just give yourselves the best chance if you're nervous about something. Like with the 5th years now, what we do inside, for them to blow off with the steam, we started doing PE. Like it's only dead right. Like some fellas love playing soccer, they'll go play soccer with us all the time. Whereas some guys might be just 40 minutes on the treadmill and that's their only exercise for the week. But you know what, it helps them in some way, they get into it. For the 6 years, I take them out for a game of ball when the weather gets good, just in a double, because they're getting stressed out. Like some of them are, as I said, high achievers, some are not so high achievers, but they're still getting stressed out. Just take them out for a game of ball to blow off steam. I suppose from my own point of view, like as I said, I listed out a load of things there that you could be stressful about regarding school and exams and the future and stuff like that. I suppose I have different kind of things that make me anxious. I suppose I'm 30 now. I can remember being here, I can remember being in school. I suppose I have things like I'm looking to save, I'm looking to buy a house, I've work, I want to make sure my lads do well in their exams. I have to get up every morning for work, and I've training then, so I'm captain of the footballers. And maybe you've seen the last couple of years, we're not going that well. We're trying to get back up to the top where we were 6 years ago. So it's a stressful enough thing. Like I've realised since I've become captain, if anyone has a problem, whether it's managing their player or a supporter, they're coming to me. So I've had more people asking me and challenging me the last 2 years than I've ever had, and it's just learning to deal with it. I suppose something you might see or might look at, it's very prominent in terms of mental health, is a thing called mindfulness. So it's about, a lot of fellas would use it now. If you read about it, there's books, there's apps, it's on YouTube. It's about looking at the current moment and just taking the moment, right, what's ahead of me. So I can't look to the Leaving Cert, but I have my Easter exam coming up. What can I do about my Easter exam? For me, I can't look to Championship. I have the National League coming up in 2 weeks' time. What can I do? I'm not at Championship pace, but what can I do to get right for the league? And it's just about managing that situation that you're currently in. So take a step-by-step current situation, and it's called mindfulness. It's just kind of, if you just focus on that situation, it just takes that kind of dread and that sense of worry away from me anyway, and it might help you something to look at. Like for me, like let's say yesterday, for example, I suppose I'm coming back pre-season training, so I have to, yesterday I was in the gym at 6 o'clock, there was a gang of 5 of us, 6 to 7:15, and then straight into school for 8:30, finished at 3:30. I train a team in school. We're in a Munster semi-final in a week and a half, so it's very serious at the moment. So it was 3:30 to 5 o'clock was training those lads, and then in my car down to Fermoy, straight down to Cork training again, home for 10:15. And so I didn't have time to stir all day, but that mindfulness thing around what I just said, look, 10:30 to 11:30, I didn't sit down all day, it's just that half an hour is for me. So half an hour for me, whatever I wanted to do, I read for 10 minutes, watched the telly for 10 minutes, and just done nothing for 10 minutes. And the exact same thing this morning, got up at 7 and just went for a walk from 7 to 7:30, because I had no time to myself the last couple of days. It's dead important, lads, to have your downtime and just have time to do nothing for yourselves. So that would be anxiety, lads, and exam stress. I suppose the last thing would be self-esteem. Like, you can guarantee the most successful people in the world, lads, have the lowest self-esteem, had low self-esteem at some stage. Okay, so I either find having low self-esteem is coming from 2 things. One, it's either the people you're around that are putting you down. I see it in school, you see bullying all the time. So what you do is you surround yourself with positive people, like-minded people, take yourself out of that environment and just surround yourself with people that think the same way as you. If you're into soccer, and you're all in the same wavelength. If you're into the computer, if you're into maths, whatever. And the other one then, lads, for low self-esteem, is probably comes from yourself. So that's something I could definitely relate to, I suppose. Let's say when I was playing games, I would have constantly, anytime I hit a bad shot, bad pass, I'd be effing and blind to myself. And you could see fellas on the line would see it. And I remember I had a sports psychologist one time, he said, why are you doing that? He goes, geez, I don't know, he goes, it's like there's a fella following you, imagine having a fella following you around the pitch, and every bad thing you do, he's calling you an effing idiot. That was more or less myself, and I said, geez, yeah, you're right. Constantly putting yourself down, and it was just contributing to low self-esteem, low confidence, and it was affecting me then when I was going home, and I was just kept thinking about it. So just things like, what I used to do then is, after a game or maybe after a meeting, just write down 10 good things I did. So what did I do? 10 good things, and then 3 things I can work on. So I could just look at there straight in front of me. Geez, I done 3 times as more good things as I did bad things or things I need to work on. And that helped me to push on for my self-esteem. I suppose to finish off my own experiences, like, I suppose you're in school, like, I wouldn't have been too interested in school. I done alright, I done well enough to get here. I suppose I dislocated my shoulder playing a game a week before my leaving cert, and I didn't study up till that week. It just really hit me in that week, saying, oh Christ, I have an exam, I'd leaving cert next week. And I just studied hard for the week. Like, I didn't really put too much maths in exams because I was able to get through it. I suppose the one thing that used to drive me mad in school was maths. I couldn't get my head around it, and I'm in school now, I do a bit of resource and I still can't get my head. It just brings me back to that feeling of anxiousness. So I was on about physical symptoms. I used to just start sweating in maths, dreading maths every night. Suppose you know about maths, there's 2 papers, so I used to have to go through the exact same trauma twice over for an exam. But now I've tried to deal with it. Whenever I help young fellas in maths, I just take the time just to prepare. I might double check with the maths teachers. For you, it might be double checking with your friend who's good at maths or good at geography or whatever. And I suppose then with sport, as I said, myself and a lot of fellas have played very high levels, like inter-county, international, and we've kind of gone for help for people for an awful lot of things. Guys with depression, anxiety, having panic attacks before games, like fellas literally in tears before games, and then they go out and kick the winning points or winning frees, like in front of 80,000 people. Lifestyle management, so that's what I was on about, the sleeping and the eating and stuff like that. Like, I've young fellas there in school, they're failing their exams, but then their mother comes in to me, but sure, he's up playing the PlayStation till 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, no wonder he's failing the exams. You know what I mean? That's where you're looking after the lifestyle side of things. Career guidance, I suppose when I came out of here, it was in the middle of the recession, and in 2010, found it very hard to get a job. Led to very low self-esteem, but there was 3 or 4 of us in the same situation. We were helped out by a couple of people, got our CVs in order. For you might be working at the summer, working after school, got our CVs in order. And then again, lads, that'd be it. So the main thing, all as I say, is you see an awful lot of mental health stuff is coming up in the news all the time. A lot of people like to speak out about it. That wouldn't be my style. Like, I wouldn't like the whole world to know my news, but I think it is important that you speak to someone. So whether it be to the newspaper, or maybe it might be your teacher, your guidance counsellor, your coach, whatever. That would be the only thing I'd say is, that's the one positive thing with it on the paper. It might encourage you to speak to someone if you're having any issues. I suppose it's coming more prominent now with young people. You can see it in the news, and I see it. I see young fellas every day in school. Like, so we just have to keep an eye on it. And as I said, like, they always tell us with Cork, like the top 3 inches, like, the brain is the most important muscle in your body. You can go to the gym every day, but if your head isn't right, like, forget about it. So I hope some of you got something out of it. If you didn't, I suppose at least you got a few hours off school anyway. But thanks very much. If you have any questions.